on to our lovely Vagabond briefcase. What I want to do with you tonight is I want to make these little pockets, and I want to put our handles together and put them on the book so that the outside of our book is complete. Okay. Now, that means obviously putting on the rest of our hardware as well. Now, we've got handles on the front and back, and you will notice that this handle moves. That is absolutely deliberate, because when we open it up, if we don't have that one moving, it's not gonna, you know, if that didn't move, we wouldn't be able to open our book. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we will start with the dead easy bits, and we're going to do our pockets that go into here. Now, they are magnetized, okay, and when you open them up, they do have, they're like little magnetic. They're like little accordion pockets, and they do hold, you know, quite a bit in there. So that's got quite a thick photo mat thing. Hold it the right way around in there. So they do hold quite a lot because they are accordion little pockets. So we will work on those first, I think. So if you want to grab your black card and your trimmer, let's get going. Okay. Right. So, first of all, let me find my black card, which I've put somewhere safe and now I can't find it. Oh, it's down here. Okay. I want you to cut 2 at 4.5 by 2 3/4. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I heard that sigh. I'm starting from the bottom. I'm doing the bottom bit first. I know. Sorry. 4.5, 2 3/4. Okay, and these are the flaps that go over the top of our pockets. Okay. And then I want to cut the actual pockets themselves, and we're going to cut those 2 at 3.5 by 7.5 inches. Okay, right, you can put your trimmer away, because next what we need to do is get out, where's my bin?
You probably threw it away.
Probably have.
It's in the bin.
No, seriously, where's my bin?
I don't know.
Neither do I. What? Oh, it's underneath my desk. Of course it is. Right, so if you want to get out your scoreboards, I had to tidy up before we started. I really wish I hadn't. Let's start with the smaller pieces, which are the flaps that go across the top of our pockets. And we're going to score on the 2 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 3/4 of an inch. So what we've got is a nice little gusset, just a 1/4 inch gusset. Okay. So same on both of them. We're scoring on the 2 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 3/4 of an inch. Okay. Now the larger bits, we're going to start off by scoring on the 3.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. Turn it so we're now working on the 7.5 inch side, and I want you to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 6 inches. Let me just check that, because that looks awfully wide. Oh no, that's right. Miracle. 6.5 inches and 7 inches. So what you've got is you've got 3 parallel score lines down that side, 3 parallel score lines down that side, and then 1 across the bottom that joins them all together. Okay, and we're going to do the same on the other one. So we're going to score on the 3.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to score on the 7.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, yeah, 1/2 inch, 1 inch,
I've missed the 1/2 inch,
and 1.5 inches. Oh, and then it's 6, 6.5, and 7 inches.
I've missed the 1/2 inch.
Well, that's just terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself. Now, what I did on mine, on the flappy bits on the top, was I did actually round the corners. I've lost my corner rounder. I just had it. Oh, there it is. This is my years-old trust. Oh, for goodness sake. Guess what I've been doing? Hang on. And I'm just going to round the corners that are the furthest away from those fold marks, those score lines there.
Oh,
quite a bit of it. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to fold on those. On those 2 score lines. So we're making a shape like that. Okay. And we're going to do that on both of them. Okay, so those are going to be the flaps that go over the top of our pockets. Right, this one. We've got this score line at the bottom, so I want you to just snip up to it like that. And then I want you to snip across all 3 of those score lines so it looks like that. So it's not directly straight.
It's an inverse kinky mitre.
It is an inverse kinky mitre. That's a good description. So it looks a bit like that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold on that bottom score line there. I'm just going to burnish that. And then I'm going to fold that one in, score it, then fold out, and then fold in again. Okay? So fold that, score in, out, in. So what we've got is like a concertina. Okay, and that will give us our accordion pocket and make it a little bit expandable. So I'm going to do the same on the other one as well. So I'm going to snip to where those score lines intersect and then cut all the way across them. That really wasn't even slightly straight, not that it matters.
It was quite kinky.
It was quite kinky. So I'm going to fold on that one. And now I'm going to fold those like that. Okay. Right, now, before we do any more to these, I want to actually put those to one side because we need to cover them before we add them to the front of our book. But I want to just be sure about how much paper we've got to do that. So I'm going to put those to one side. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out the handles. So you're going to have to watch me do this before you start to cut anything. So you should still have one piece of A4 grey board left. Okay. Now, here we go. So I'm going to take my A4 grey board and I'm going to draw out before I cut anything. So I did have a good pencil earlier. Here we go. Right, let's see if I can remember how I did this. I'm going to start off by making the shape of the handle. So I'm going to just measure 1 inch there from the outside of my my card, and then I know that this is 6 inches across here. Okay, so that's just 6 inches. So I'm also going to measure at 6 inches and then at 5. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to measure 1 inch, 5 inches, 6 inches, and I'm going to just draw a line like that first of all. Okay, now I'm going to draw a line here at 1 inch and at 5 inches. Let me just double check that. Yep. So I'm going to measure here at 1 inch and at 5 inches. So that is going to form the top of my handle, and that is going to form the bottom. So I'm just going to draw across those bits. So what I've got here is my handle shape. Okay, and we'll come around to curving those off in a minute. But I'm going to need 2 handles because I need one for the back as well. So just to fit that on, because it's not going to fit across there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 1 inch back there, like that. Okay. So that this is going to form my other handle. Hang on, so that's got to be 6 inches. This will all become clear in a minute. And what I'll do as well is I'll take a photo when I'm just done so that I can put it in the group so it becomes clearer to you all what I'm doing or how I'm drawing it on. Okay, so I know this looks a little bit weird, but if I colour it in, that is handle number 1, and this is handle number 2. Okay, let me just take a quick photo because then I can pop it in the group and it will be easy for you to refer to it, I think. So hang on a minute, let me just take a quick shot. There we go. Yeah. So this is handle 1 and this is handle 2. Okay. That's that I hope has made it quite clear. So what we need to do is cut them out now. So I'm going to grab my mat, ruler. Don't know where my proper ruler. Oh, yes, I do. Here's my safety ruler. Shall I use my safety ruler, dear? Will it make you feel better?
I might leave the room.
Okay, so now we've just got to make sure that we cut the right bits.
He says it looks like she'll be using 2 pieces.
If you've got plenty of chipboard, that's fine. It's just that if you've had a kit, in theory, you should just have 1 piece left. Oh, don't do that. I need some more blades for my knife. Oh. Actually, this is quite thin chipboard. It probably would do just as fine cutting it with scissors. Oh, this is terrible, this knife.
It's not cutting, is it?
It's not cutting. I'll have to go back to this one, but it's blunt. Oop. Okay. Probably better if you use a knife. Do as I say, don't do as I do, for goodness sake. Right. Okay, so there's one handle, right? Easy. Now I've just got to cut this handle out.
So Raina's correctly said it's dangerous to use blunt knife.
It is dangerous to use a blunt knife, mainly because it just makes me cross. And working with a knife when you are cross is not a good idea.
I had a run-in with some card yesterday.
Oh, yeah, my finger. I don't know if you can see that. It's still flipping sore. There was blood everywhere. Right. Right, this is the point where we find out that I've done this completely wrong and that these aren't at all the same size. Oh, they are. That's a miracle. Right, okay. Let's just tidy this up because I made a right pig's ear of it. Right, now, what I need to do now is curve these, and all I'm going to do, you can draw around something round, like, I don't know, your glue pot, or you can just freehand it, whatever you like to do.
Glue pots are available in the shop.
They are, and they're also very good for drawing curves. So then get yourself a pair of scissors, and I want you to cut off that curvy bit there.
If we sell safety rules.
No,
No,
we don't, but we should probably. I do sell metal rulers, but not safety ones. I don't know. You got me that one. I don't know where you got it from. Was it Amazon? It usually is.
can't remember.
Okay. Right. So now I've got my curved handles. Now, we'll work on... Oh, I'm covered in bits of paper. We'll work on the front one in a minute, but just to start quickly, I want you to cut off... You're going to love this. I want you to cut off at 1 inch the bottom of one of the handles, only one. Okay, only one. Now you should have some white Tyvek left, or black Tyvek, it doesn't really matter which Tyvek, but some Tyvek. And I'm just going to just cut a little slither. Right, let's just cut that off. Just a couple of inches. Doesn't have to be perfect at all. But what I'm going to do is I'm now going to reattach the bottom of that handle, but I'm going to do it via the Tyvek. So if I pop my handle onto the Tyvek like that, okay, then just like we do with a book, I'm going to put that handle back, but I'm going to leave a gap slightly bigger than usual, say about 1/4 of an inch maybe, something like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just fold my Tyvek round like that. Okay, so we've reattached that to the bottom, but there is this gap, and that's where our back handle is going to fold. Okay, so right, yes, this messy handle will look all right in the end. Okay, all right, so how are we going to get this curved and looking like fabric, which it does? Okay, what I want you to do first of all is grab your front handle, and I want you to grab all these bits of chipboard that we haven't used, and I want you to cut it into strips. So this strip is just slightly thinner. It's probably about 3/4 of an inch or so. If you want to get really technical, you absolutely can measure this, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to just pop that into the middle like that. Okay, so I've built that up a little bit. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So no, underneath this doesn't look very pretty, but trust me, the one that I made, my original, absolutely looks like this underneath.
What the eye don't see.
Exactly. And you'd never know, would you? So now I'm just going to build up that corner, because I want to try and fill in space. Just have a little bit of a bit in there. Right. Okay, Okay, so that's layer one. So what I've got here is I've just taken a piece, it's about 3/4 of an inch wide, and I've just layered it up. And as you can see, it's just slightly narrower than the original handle. Now I'm going to do exactly the same again, but it's going to be slightly thinner. So it's going to be approximately 1/2 inch. Okay. If you want to measure it, makes you happy to measure it, then absolutely go ahead and do that. Because I can just feel there's a couple of people I'm thinking of right now who this is filling with abject horror. Because I ain't measuring nothing and it doesn't look pretty.
Maureen says she's in awe.
She's what, sorry?
In awe.
Really?
Yes.
What, my complete disregard for tidiness.
And Lorraine says hers will be wonky without the booze.
Well,
Sally's put hers will be wonky with booze.
Wonky? Is it wonky, or is it that this is a well-loved briefcase, you know, that has seen lots of adventures? I'm sure Belinda will tell you what adventures Lady Vagabond's had. So not wonky, it's had adventures. That's my view. Is this upsetting you, dear?
No.
Oh, good.
Nothing upsets me.
I'm sure. Right now, I can't remember how many layers I did on my original. I'm guessing it's 3. I'm going to go for 3. It might have been 4. I'll find out in a minute. All right, so you can see here, what I've done is I've got this built up a bit, okay? And it's just grey board, and it's
nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy, and I think it might have been 4. I'm not sure. What do you think, dear? Do I need another layer?
Let me have a feel.
You have a feel. I think it was just 3. 3. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Righty-ho. So, thank you. So what we need to do now is get our patterned paper out. Now, for the handle and for the pockets, I used 2 sheets from Lady Vagabond. And it was exactly this reason that this is why we're using 2 packs of Lady Vagabond, because it has the prettiest. There we go. It's this one. So it's on the back of our lovely house. I must admit, I'll tell you, Belinda, I had a few problems with this because I love this floating house, this flying house, and I didn't want to cut it. What I'm trying to say here is it's really frustrating when, you know, you've got 2 utterly gorgeous papers back to back, and with Stamperia that happens every single time. So just stop designing nice stuff, please. It would make life so much simpler. Right, where's the other one? Well, I only got 1 pack in here. Have I got both of them? Oh no, there it is. Okay. Right. Okay, now listen very carefully. I will say this only once. I know, I feel like I should be in some terrible 80s sitcom. Right. This bit, we're going to cover this now, but notice that we've got some hardware here, and that folds underneath. This piece of paper here folds around and attaches to that bit of hardware. So when we are adding our thingy on, we need to make sure that it's up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put mine approximately there. Actually, I might do it up the top. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm just going to put some glue. This is my built up handle, not the flat handle. And I'm just going to, oh, it doesn't really matter where I do it, does it? Right. Let's pop it there. Okay. Now I'm just going to cut that. Round like that. Keep these because we're going to need them in a minute. And now I'm just going to cut that little bit out like that. Okay, I'm going to curve that edge because it makes it easier, and I'm going to curve that edge as well. Okay, so what we need to do now is fold these over so that we are covering our handle. Just going to trim that off a little bit. Now, I'm actually going to have to do that a bit more. To get those curved edges, we're going to have to just snip those corners like that. Okay. So I'm just snipping like that, and I'm going to have to snip inside as well. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing the easy bit, and I'm going to fold that round. That's still a bit too wide. Let's just trim that down a bit more. I'm going to fold that over like that. Okay, and I'm going to glue that down. Now you can use a little bit of double-sided tape. We all know that I like to do that just to keep it in place. See how it goes. Fold that over like that. You can see here that we've just got paper and nothing else. That's the way we want it. Don't chop this off. This is really important, this bit, okay? So let's glue that over like that. And now we need to bring this side over, okay? So just fold it first like that. Now glue that down like that. Okay. Turn it over. I'm going to do the same on that side, like that. Okay. Now, if we turn this over, you'll see that we have now got that curved bit that makes it look like fabric. You can see now that it looks like it's a proper padded thing, a padded handle, but it's obviously it's not, it's just card. So let's do the same up at the top here. Just trim that down a bit. Fold that over. Glue that. And the same there. Okay, so this is starting to take shape now. You can definitely see that that's looking padded. Well, I can. I don't know how well. What I'm seeing on my screen isn't very clear, so I'm hoping. And now all we've got to do is take these bits and just fold them over. And glue them in place so that we get our curve to that top bit of the handle there. You might have to just work it a little bit first with your fingers, just to get it exactly right and curved. And once you're happy with that, then glue it down. Okay. Okay. So we've now got that curved edge to the handle, and it looks like it's fabric because it's slightly raised. Okay, and the same on the other side. So make sure it all fits in place before you start gluing.
Alison Evans says, hello.
Hi, Alison. Okay. All right, so now you've got your two curved edges to your handle. All right. Now we need to do this bit. Now, obviously, we've got a square here. So if you take some of your chipboard, grey board, whatever it is that you want to call it, just cut it into a curve. And yes, bizarrely, it is easier to do it like this than doing it at the beginning, because you just can't get your scissors into it. Well, I couldn't. Okay. Let's pop that in there because it only needs to be a guide. And now this is what I found. This next bit, this was the most difficult bit for me. And to be honest with you, I wasn't 100% pleased with it on mine. But what we've got to do now is take our paper and fold it round so that we get that curved under bit of the handle.
Someone says, can you use double-sided foam tape to build up the handles?
You could do, absolutely. Yeah.
You've got foam tape?
No, I don't like it because it gets stuck on my scissors. All right, so there we go. So we've got that little curve around our handle there. And I'm going to do exactly the same over this side too. And just make sure that we've got a curve.
Okay.
There we go. Now, what I'm going to do next is I need to make a backing because this is still, we don't want to see this. So we need to put a backing on it. So if you have a look at these ones that I've done here, you can see that I've put some of this paper. I don't know what I've got left actually. Go and have a look. Where is it? What have I got left? Oh yeah, this piece there. So let me just draw around that. Now the good news is that we don't have to use the whole we don't have to cover the whole thing because we're not going to see all of the back of it. Right, so now I'm going to cut those out. Okay. Oh dear, that's terrible. Let's try and curve that off a bit more. Let's see if that fits on the top there. It might need a bit of trimming, which that one does quite a lot of trimming actually. Still too wide. Get there in the end. Okay. Yep, I'm happy enough with that, more or less. So what I did with mine was I actually I inked the edges to give it a bit more of a sort of a rustic oldie worldy look. a little bit more. I don't know if I haven't got a thingy. I've only got one black one. I'm just going to ink the edges of this just to make it look a little bit more, you know, well used. Okay, and I'm going to glue that onto the back of the handle. And just cover up what we had before. Right, now I need you to get those slide buckles that you had from your kit, which are the rectangular pieces. With the slide across. And these should fit onto the ends of your paper there. Let's find out where the end of our card is, our actual handle. Just fold that up. Okay, and we're going to place that over like that. Fold that over and glue that down like that. Okay, to attach that like that there. You all following this all right? I'm hoping so. So a little bit of glue, fold that over and attach that to the back of the handle like that. Okay. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so fold that over. And we're going to fold that and glue that in as well. Okay. Right. So that is the front bit, which is going to, where's mine? Oh, it's up there. Hang on. In a moment, this is going to fit on there like that. Okay. But I want to do the back handle first. So we're going to get some more of this lovely paper. And this one, we're going to glue like that, just flat, because the back one really doesn't need to be padded at all. Little bit of a gap at the bottom here. Do our little snips, corner snips. And put a little bit in that corner. What have I done with it now? Oh, there it is. A little bit of a curve there. Okay, and then exactly the same procedure.
Ellie's back again.
Didn't know she'd gone.
I put that axle thread.
Oh. Okay, so let's fold that over. Glue it down. Ooh. Should put some sticky tape on that side. It doesn't want to. Okay. And this one. Same procedure for the corners. This one's a bit easier because obviously it's flat. So they're easily going to fold around. Okay. There we go. That's a bit better rounded now. Fold that round. And then those pieces too. Okay, and then we've got to put the backing on this one as well. So here's one I drew. Where is the one I drew earlier? Oh yeah, just see it. Okay. Oh. Always takes the longest time. Might be a long class tonight because I'd like to get the outside finished.
Mel says it's the most therapeutic demo yet.
Really?
And Alison says you are so clever.
Well, thank you. I know. Oh, of course. Yeah. She was. Right. Let's just trim that in a bit. Ink these edges.
Oh, the rain's getting a kettle on.
There's a thought.
I want a copy, yes.
Well, we've got that one that you started when you came home, and I said I didn't want one. We could have that when we're done.
I can't wait. Will that be today?
Yes.
Cool.
All right, let's pop that on there. There we go. Right, now, we've still got a little end on here, which needs to fold over just to make it tidy. So just glue that over. Okay. Right. Now, whilst I'm just waiting a moment for that to dry, I'm just going to go over this front bit with my ink because it covers a whole multitude of sins, in my opinion.
My order in for tea.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We have biscuits, so we're all right there.
We do have lots of biscuits.
Well, not quite as many as we had.
No. Okay, so let's just make that look old and used, a bit like me really. And I'm going to do the same on the back one as well. Right, nearly there.
Linda says she needs a glass of wine after this session.
So do I. Right, now I want you to work out where your Tyvek bit is and just carefully just fold on it, all right?
Maureen asks, why is only one handle padded?
You've watched me do it. That's why only one handle is padded. Because to be honest with you, you never look at the back. You just never look at the back, so it just seemed fairly pointless. If you want to do both bits done, both bits padded, you absolutely can. But really, it just seemed like an awful lot of hard work to me. Righty-ho. Okay, so what we need to do now is the bits that go on here. So if you get some of your paper, and we're going to cut a couple of strips. At 2 inches. They don't have to be very long. I'm just taking a couple of strips like that. Okay. Oh, I'm just gonna. It's easier just to score this, to be honest with you. So I'm just gonna score at 1/2 inch and at 1.5 inches, just because it's going to be easier for me to fold it that way. Then I'm going to fold them like that. So I've got a strip that's 1 inch wide. Just going to glue that down. These are far too long, by the way, but it doesn't matter because we just need something at the moment.
So 2 inch strips and score at 1/2 inch and 1.5. Yeah,
just so that we've got 2 strips then that are 1 inch wide, basically.
Oh.
Okay. And what we're going to do with these now, after we've inked them, is we're going to slip that through there, fold it in half like that, and we're just going to glue that together. Like that. Okay? Right. Okay, so I'm going to start off by gluing this on the front. So I'm going to take the front of my book and I'm going to open it up. I've got too many books here. This makes it almost impossible. I'm going to do it sideways so you can see. And this is going to attach on here like that. So these are kind of lined up with the top of this bit here. All right. So if I fold that underneath, that would be about the right height, I think. About there. Does that look about right? Let's have a look. It's about right to me. So let's fold that under. Just going to nip that bit off, otherwise it gets a bit bulky. Let's fold that over like that. measure it. Okay, that's 2 inches. So measure that to fold at 2 inches, which is about there. Just make sure they're both the same length. Yep. Right. Now for the putting the handle on bit. Hang on, I'm going to have to move some books because I need to see what I'm doing. Right. So what I'm going to do now, that needs to be flat. Hang on. Is I'm going to glue, I'm only going to glue up to where this bit is. So if I have a look on there and see what's, I can't do it that way around. See what's central. I'm just going to be gluing that bit and that bit and that bit and that bit. Okay. So if I just put some glue on there like that, I'm gonna have to stand up, so you're gonna get the top of my head now, I think. I'm sorry about this. Put my glasses on. But you need to centralize it. Does that look about right? No, where my ruler? I'm not sure it is. 2. No. 1 7/8. I've gone too far the other way. Right. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue that down. So I've glued this bit and I've glued this bit up to here, up to where it hits that first score. Okay. So now it's attached like that. Okay, so you can see that this is attached to the actual book bit. Now, if I close this back up again, I'm going to be able to see exactly where I need to attach the back bit. Now, the back bit, we're only going to attach up to where that fold is in the Tyvek. See, you've already bent it so you can feel where your fold is. So just put glue on that bottom bit up to where your fold is, okay? And you're going to attach it to the back of your book. I'm going to have to stand up to see this, so that it lines up with the front handle. Okay, so turn it over. Just make sure those line up. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to hold this a minute. Right, so I would suggest that you kind of leave that to cure. Now, okay, we've already done an hour and a half, so I'm going to send you off to do your homework. And what I'm going to say to you is that these that we've cut need to be covered. So cover those all in your pattern paper, and I used this one. And then what we'll do at the start of next week is we'll come back and we will put these attachments on, because if we do it tonight, it's going to take at least another half an hour, and I don't really want to do that. So your homework tonight is to just decorate up your pockets, front and back of the flaps. And then when we come back next week, we'll put them together and we'll do our magnetic bit. Okay? Cool. Right, there we go. I'm sorry it took such a long time tonight. But I hope you've managed to keep up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good. I'm glad you have. Right, so if you're around tomorrow, we're going to do part 1 of the House of Roses, Wendy's book. And then on Friday, we've got our last storyteller in Crafting Together. So I hope you've enjoyed yourselves tonight. Thank you for sticking with me. And we'll see you all for the next Vagabond next Wednesday. See you guys. Bye.
Oh.
You have to switch this off, dear.